The next step in this 3550 installation swap will be installing or indexing the transmission to transfer case adapter housing aluminum unit to the transmission itself, which may or may not have a double drilled hole pattern on the back, and then also to the transfer case. So if you look at the adapter unit provided by Advanced, you'll see that there's a sets of 3 holes all the way around, and then also a dimpled mark in the adapter, which is used as a reference to indicate that that mark is straight up in the 12 o'clock position when it attaches to the unit. So by drawing a line from the drilled reference hole up on the back, you can easily see where that hole is, and we'll mark it and install it onto the transmission in the 12 o'clock position. Just for a quick reference, it's easy to put a paint pen on the tranny as well, and if you do that, then you'll come around to the front side here. Probably can't see it. The holes in the bracket adapter housing that you'll be using if you want to rotate that in the stock location will be the holes that are marked here on the assembly. And then also, if you're looking at the back of the transmission, if your tranny is drilled in this double bolt pattern, it would be the clockwise most of the 2 bolts that are provided would be the ones that we're going to use for this application. So now once we have a reference for the top of the transmission adapter assembly, we'll know where to put the adapter housing with this mark up in relation to the transfer case, so that we can assemble that and the bearing retainer coupler shaft assembly into the transfer case. So once again, the indexing mark that's on the adapter for the transfer case transmission assembly is in the 12 o'clock position, straight up on the back of the transmission assembly, and that's going to line up with the dowel hole in the transfer case assembly, so that this adapter will be bolted in place just like this, so that this reference is going to line up with the reference mark that we have on the back of the transmission. But before we install this piece, we need to install the coupler shaft, adapter gear, bearing retainer assembly. We're just going to install this right into the face of the transfer case. We're going to apply a little bit of light grease along the O-ring assembly here, and you'll just want to verify that you have the 13 pocket bearings installed, held in place with grease, before you install the coupler shaft assembly. Okay, so we're going to apply a little bit of gasket sealant material and install the gasket on the face here. And then we're going to go ahead and install the housing assembly. Once the adapter housing is pressed all the way in place, we're going to apply a little more gasket material, sealant to the gasket, and then we're going to go ahead and install our adapter plate. And you'll notice that the adapter plate has a ring cutout to accept the bearing retainer assembly, and then we're going to mock it up in place using the provided hardware as such. So we're going to install the plate onto the transfer case assembly. And we're going to use the provided hardware with some blue Loctite again and tighten them all down.